Hello everyone. The architecture of Playwright is similar between a bond between India and Russia. So the bond between India and Russia is just like a WebSocket connection. So those who do not know WebSocket connection, I'll explain you later on. But at this point in time, for this particular video, we need to understand that. But let's say there are two countries, India and Russia. So what happens in a WebSocket kind of connection? There is a mutual bond of trust over here, right? Once a connection has been established, then a handshake protocol has been made. Once a handshake protocol has been made, then this country or this client can keep on requesting as many resources as they want, and this server will keep on providing the output in the form of a response to this particular client. Let's say India is client, and Russia is the server that keeps on running always on the time 24/7, right? This is the server, and let's say this is the client. Please try to understand, because this is the best example that I can think of at this point in time. So as we know that currently bond between India and Russia are relatively very strong, right? So let's say India says that we want SS 400, right? So Russia in response simply says that okay, we'll give you SS 400, no doubt. We will be providing you, and India already has this. In the same way, if India says that we want this particular missile, let's say JK-47, for example, and, just an arbitrary name at this point in time. So if Russia has particular thing, Russia will be going to give it to India, right? But it is not going to happen in case of India and Pakistan, because over here the protocol that we are following is of HTTP request. So what will happen over here is that, let's say India says that we want some cashews from Pakistan or Kashmiri apples from Pakistan. Let's say as soon as they deliver it to India in the form of a response, all the talks will end. You know, for any other thing, let's say now apple, now we want some cashew, now we want some almonds. For every request that we made, there will be an HTTP request, and there will be an HTTP response from the side of the Pakistan, right? In this particular way, once that response is made, the connection gets terminated. But over here, let's say in case of Russia, we have a WebSocket kind of connection with Russia. Let's say I'm just taking an a virtual example. At this point in time, we have a handshake protocol, and until and unless India denies its relationship with India, if India breaks its ties with Russia, then only this connection will be made. If Russia breaks its ties with India, then only this connection will end. Otherwise, this there is an ongoing connection over here. But over here between India and Pakistan, every time, for each single item, for each single HTTP request, for each simple API request, as you can imagine, we have to send a request and the response, and then the talk simply end. I hope we are able to understand what I am trying to deliver over here. So the thing is that this once the connection has been established, once a handshake protocol has been made between client and server architecture, then n number of requests can be made to the server, and the server will keep on responding to the client. Let's say I'm taking India as the client at this point in time. I'm just taking a virtual example, okay? But over here, the the requests that are being made are made one-on-one basis, and once the response is made, then the connection simply gets end. Let's say, for example, I am asking Pakistan to deliver your JK-15 or your Shaheen missile. So once they give us to us their Shaheen missile, let's say, I don't know, I know they won't give, but let's say if they give us to us, then the bilateral talks will simply end. But over here it will not end, because there is a WebSocket kind of connection. A handshake has been made. Let's say once you make a handshake, once you made a handshake to your particular friend, then it means that if your friend asks a bowl of sugar, then your friend will simply give it to you. If you ask your friend, now I want uh, you know uh, let's say any candy, then your client will then your friend will give you the candy. If you ask your friend that, I want now some money, then your friend will give you some money. The connection has been made properly, until unless you guys both deliberately try to break it at one of your end. But over here, every time when a connection has been made, when a request is made, a response is received. But after that, the connection gets terminated. So this is the basic difference between a WebSocket kind of connection, and this is the basic difference between a connection that is being made on an HTTP request. So what I'm trying to say is that Playwright is basically based on WebSocket type of connection. I hope now I am making some sense. I am using a weird example, but I hope this tutorial will be helping in some form, right? And once the connection has been made, then we can give command to some browsers like Chromium, IE, Safari. Let's say open a page on Chrome, open a new tab on Chrome, open a new tab on IE, and perform some, click on somewhere else, click on some particular page, wait for the element. So these kind of things now it will be happening from here onwards, right? So this is the basic architecture of Playwright. Once a WebSocket connection has been made between the client and the server, let's say this laptop is the client. I am requesting something from this, let's say Go IBGO server, and let's say Go IBGO server is my friend. So now I can make 10,000 requests and 10,000 responses I can expect. But over here, when it comes to this particular part, it's not going to remain the same every time. Let's say I ask that, I request for a particular specific name, then only name will be returned to me. If I ask for ID, then only ID will be returned to me. If I ask for gender, then only gender will be returned to me, and the connection will keep on terminating over here. So I hope I have made some sense in order to make you understand onto a basic level of how the architecture of Playwright basically works.